It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from the wonderful Bad Seed Brewing Company, and this is a can of their Adambier. It's 10.5% ABV. It's described as a German style dark strong ale. Apparently Adambier was one of those really old German styles of beer from Dortmund that nearly went out of existence. What brings these styles back? A little bit like the Goza, the salty Goza from Germany, which everybody knows about now. But 10 years ago, nobody really understood Goza, knew what Goza was. It's the craft brewers. The craft brewers around the world are looking at old beer books, old beer styles, and they're bringing them back from the dead. I love that. I love that because do you know what? I reviewed the barrel aged Adambier from Bad Seed Brewing Company just 2 weeks ago. But even after 9,000 beers reviewed on YouTube, if you asked me before that what was an Adambier, I would have looked at you blank in the face and gone, I don't know. I've never heard of the style. And that's the wonderful thing. That's the wonderful thing about craft beer. And all of the breweries now involved in craft beer and the people involved in craft beer is these old styles are making a comeback. They really are. 10.5% ABV. Let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. I reviewed them the wrong way round actually. I should have reviewed this one first and then the barrel aged beer afterwards. But hey ho, it is what it is. I just grab a can out the fridge and review the beer on impulse, really. There's no real kind of thought process behind it. Beer's looking absolutely fantastic. One finger tan coloured head. Good levels of carbonation. Absolutely fantastic, dark coloured, fantastic looking beer. Look at that. Look at that. So what are my thoughts on Adambier? First of all, let me tell you about Bad Seed. Bad Seed Brewing Company are based out of Denmark. We'll come back to that in a moment. But Adambier. For me, what is an Adambier? Why did it fall out of existence? And of course, I'm glad that it's back. Well, if you were to ask me, without doing any research, maybe the Russian Imperial Stout, maybe the Baltic Porter just took the limelight. Might have been as simple as that. The fact that it just took the limelight. It was just the fact that Baltic Porter from Poland, probably a very similar beer, was able to gain more traction. Or of course Russian Imperial Stout, again, strong dark ale, strong dark stout, generally 8% ABV above. Maybe that just took the limelight as well. Maybe that just took that kind of market away from Adambier. Maybe Adambier didn't do enough to promote itself. Maybe it was just a case of like certainly in the UK, if you think of old beers like Courage Directors was only brewed for the directors of the company, nobody else. It was only the fact that Courage decided to let the general public try their very special beer that people got to try it. But it was brewed generally, exclusively for the directors of the brewery. Maybe that's what Adambier is. Maybe Adambier is just brewed for brewery owners and directors of the brewery. Who knows? Comment in the comments box. I'm sure it'll tell me what Adambier is on the can. Let's get the aroma on this jet black beer. Is there any sediment? No sediment. Jet black. Let's get the aroma. Whoa, really hoppy. Dark berry, plum, fig, prune, a little bit of toffee, a little bit of caramel. lovely honey sweetness coming through. Smells terrific. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. That is super. First thing you get, carbonation pushes the beer on the inside of the mouth, releases more of that flavour. It's a nicely carbonated beer. It's a combination of caramel, bitter dark chocolate, roasted malt, sweetness, lots of hops coming through. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows, what a beer. Licorice, plum, fig, prune. Maybe a little bit of saltiness. Am I imagining things here? Maybe a little bit of saltiness coming through. But the mouthfeel is terrific. The licorice flavours are terrific. Just generally wonderful. Generally wonderful, wonderful beer. And it was produced by my good friend Peter, the Master of Hoppets, who started a YouTube channel. We both started it 2009, 2010, long time ago now, 13, 14 years ago type of thing. And he's gone on from not just reviewing beer on YouTube, he did his university course, whatever he was doing in university. And then he decided that he wanted to become a brewer, a head brewer. He loved beer that much. He loved beer that much, and I think that's terrific. The fact that I'm standing here holding one of the cans of beer that he produced, researching old styles of beer, producing old styles of beer from Germany. That's passion. I would say Peter, the Master of Hoppets, have a look at his YouTube channel, by the way, is probably one of the most passionate people I've ever met in beer. Right. Description. Adambier is an old German style of strong ale, rooted in the tradition of the city of Dortmund. It is a rich, dark and satisfying ale brewed with a wide range of different malts, both caramelised, roasted and smoked. Maybe the smokiness of the malt was offering a little bit of saltiness. Let's go again. Yeah, my bad. I was kind of confusing saltiness with smokiness. Yeah, my palate's getting old. To create a complex ale with notes of dark fruits, leather, honey and chocolate. I got the honey. Originally brewed to celebrate our 100th brew in October 2021, and we loved this so much that we wanted to give it a life of its own. Drink fresh, age up to 5 years if you want to. Amazing. Absolutely amazing beer. So it's an old style German strong ale. So Dortmund was the area. Dortmund was the epicenter of German beer before Pilsners. So old Dortmund style beer. Dortmund export 300-400 years ago was dominating. It was sent all over the world. Dortmund beer. It's funny, isn't it, how something can dominate so much and then it can just fall out of fashion. I'd love to go to Dortmund. I'd love to maybe visit the football stadium, and I'd love to maybe visit a lot of the old breweries there and research the history on Dortmund beer. Be involved in that history. I'd love to go and see it. It'd be brilliant. Adambier, let's rate it. I like it. I really like it. That is a Stone the Crows 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.